This episode of TechZilla is brought to you by Squarespace. It's time to get our AC Nation on. Before we dissect a perfectly innocent, actually a heavily damaged Samsung 8000, we should talk about a little follow-up to the reviews of the LG and Samsung Blu-ray players from last week.
Yeah, hey, actually, several of our sharp-eyed and eared viewers were quick to point out that the Samsung BD D6700 does indeed feature on-player controls. They're touch controls integrated right into the front display, and you know what? Now that that was mentioned, I recall seeing them. I just didn't use them. Anyway, hey, thanks to Tom in Vancouver, Washington, for being the first of many to point out my faux pas. And if you've ever wondered what's inside of an HD TV, well, we happen to have a gorgeous, well, it was gorgeous, 55-inch Samsung D8000 display that was damaged. Basically, somebody ran into it with a forklift or something. We're not going to get into that part, but
this is why you always inspect the package before you sign for it.
Always, 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 always. Take a look inside that box before you sign off on it. Well, look at that. There's with the back plate of the TV it's set.
I like how there's the big plastic here to keep all this section from coming in contact with the back of
little extra either thermal and or RF shielding, I would think, right there. Actually, with this whole piece of metal.
We can actually, because we can see it like, yeah, that was behind there.
That's actually where the power supply is that you were pointing at right there.
That.
One big flat box. But as you can see, actually, there's not a whole lot on the back of this set, which is, you're removing the power supply?
Well, if you hear a horrible popping sound and a scream, you'll know why. Explain what we're looking at here. So I'm pulling the screws out of the power supply. What are these other two boards?
That's it, exactly. Well, right in the center would be part of the video processing and computing power, including the DNIE, if you've ever heard of that, is the feature in Samsung TVs. That center board is taking care of some of that functionality. This board right here is where all the inputs are. One single board with two edges, which is very common on a lot of TVs nowadays. This way they can use one single board and then have these two perpendicular edges where you can just plug in all your inputs and connectors. Also takes care of some of the signal processing. I imagine they have the digital TV tuner. Appropriately enough, there's mostly Samsung chips on these boards as well. And you are just hell-bent on popping that out.
We all have our hobbies.
But yeah, given a thin TV, you have to have a thin power supply. I mean, you can't have it, you think about what's in a computer nowadays, your standard desktop, and you can't have something that thick in here. And you basically have to have a power supply system that allows you to keep it not only as thin as possible, but to be able to fit within the design. Rigidity, too, as you can see. There's the power supply. All pretty and, well, now that it's unplugged, relatively safe. You can also see, too, compared to a lot of the older designs for LCD high-definition TVs, this one features very little in the way of additional structural supports. Usually you'll see a couple of bars either running horizontally or vertically. This one uses the actual pressing of the metal backplate to create the rigidity for the panel itself. And there goes our inputs.
It's like monocoque construction.
Once it goes in and has been tested, it should not come out.
This one screw. So this is the actual television board I'm unscrewing right here. Like this is pretty much
basically all your inputs and most likely the TV tuners, cable tuners, and other associated features. Some of the HDMI processing for determining switching and other things like that. Maybe even some of the menu systems, but I believe that would be more on the center board where they're doing some of the other video processing features.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
Uh-oh.
No. It's
glued on.
They have thermal. Basically, this is like the thermal material you find inside of a iPod.
Very cool.
Probably also to help keep this, it's either keeping it insulated or helping to
shock support too.
Yeah, so that was actually almost, not quite yet, behind the main chip on there. The SDP1002 Genoa P.
You can see there, HDMI ports, USB, optical output. And on the other side, you have PC and network connections and the TV tuner input. A very compact design. I mean, 3 boards compared to even a couple of years ago. TVs were just jam-packed with electronics to make this all work.
That's pretty crazy. And there's all your HDMI ports again.
I mean, this is also about keeping costs low, but at the same point, I still feel it's just an impressive way just to miniaturize and make things, more elegant, more simple.
More dense.
Yeah.
So,
plastic removal?
Plastic removal.
Oh, the back frame. Oh, that's probably for the, let me guess, the light going up front? No, something else. There we go. Ooh.
Oh, it's the switches.
Oh, the side controls.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I don't know if we can see the...
Injection molded plastic piece.
There's the
Actually,
button.
the devices that create these plastic components are actually about the size of locomotive freight trains. I kid you not. Hundreds of tons of force pushing together big dies, and the hot plastic gets squirted in to create not only the front and the back panels appropriately. Used to be one of the closely guarded secrets of the trade, but
How to injection mold?
everyone's pretty much doing it now. So cool custom plastic work, but one of the structural components right there, because that would also hold the
This
brace.
Is, yeah, this is where the brace was coming in. Oh, here's the speakers.
For the
I
TV
found
sound.
the speakers.
Those are neat looking. Check that out.
I'm pretty sure these are the speakers.
Yeah,
Yep, right
I
and
would say
left.
so. I bet you that's got a really interesting tune channel ports.
Oh, there's the port.
How funky.
There it is.
I want to wire these up to
Oh.
an iPhone. or
And
an
here's
iPad.
another one of the speakers.
Very cool.
Oh, we'll be playing with these later
Yes.
on. And the Samsung Denial Naopi. And the AML.
That's
the LCD controller. Duh.
Yep.
It's
And I
plugged
think
into
it
the
probably
LCD.
includes some of their video processing as well. My foot. No, I'm sorry.
No.
Oops. I don't think that was what I was supposed to do.
That's not how it comes out.
I think I voided the warranty on this.
Yeah, you think? There we go. The Decorative
Pull up the back edge like I just did. You're trying to save that.
Well, no, we can fix it. My dad's got an excellent set of tools. We can fix that.
Listen, Spicoli.
Oh, man. I'm not even getting started on that one.
Got that? Is this the amp?
No.
Something for the audio, I thought.
No, it's the Wi-Fi adapter.
Oh,
This is the Wi-Fi module.
look at that.
Yay.
Also made by Samsung.
What a
See,
shot.
that's how you keep your costs down. You just make every stinking part yourself.
Okay.
Cables.
And screws. What's funny is there was like 16 screws holding the various back case pieces on. Can you imagine what the CAD CAM drawings for this thing looks like?
Pretty complex, I would say. Would you believe it? Somebody somewhere, probably in somewhere in Mexico, had assembled this, very similar to the way you're doing it right now. Electric screwdriver,
Probably
going
much
to town.
faster.
Probably a little more care.
Whoa, okay, stuff's getting interesting again. Look at that.
long board. Oh, for the drivers, for the LCD panel itself.
Yeah.
So this is where basically it makes its connection, going from the thin film transistors to these circuit boards that then connect into the other video processing parts to do the driving of the panel itself. Basically, those two big things one of them that I'd ripped off earlier.
So this is the LCD controller right here, and then that goes to the flat panel.
So elegant. 50 little screws. Nice. Good job.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Revealing.
Actually, you know what? Let's tip it up
Okay. Which way?
this way.
And there we go, a bunch of little screws.
And okay.
On all four sides. Yikes.
This right here is the LCD, which is what? Less than a millimeter thick piece of
that.
glass.
That's crazy. Can we get a shot on the side of this? This is where the magic happens, people.
I mean-
are these grounding strips up and down the left and right side?
It could be, actually. Contacts that went in behind the plate. I don't see. No, there's circuitry in there. So those are contacts that probably deal with all of the wiring that goes across left and right. Each one handles a bundle or a section of the screen itself.
That's crazy.
Almost paper thin. I mean, if you can get a backlight behind that, it doesn't have to be much thicker. It's just how thin can you make the lighting system for it. So, Talking a few sheets of paper.
Let's set this down for a second, then we'll
Yes.
take a look at what's behind it.
Now, if we actually, well, it's too late now to fire up the TV in this condition.
Oh, now you tell me.
But now, this is where you'll have the multiple layers of basically brightness enhancement films, diffusing, light guides.
Okay, I've got a diffusing layer.
Yep.
But hold on, let me see if I can. I think this is the one diffusing layer right here. Can you pull it in like that?
Yep. Oh, never to be.
Look, kids, diffusion.
I would say so.
I am diffused.
Definitely.
That's funny. I was actually having that same thought. We could probably use this for our lighting system. I have diffusing. Hold it for 1 second.
This, I want to say,
Is this a Fresnel lens? No.
this might be the light guide.
Oh, wow.
What they call brightness enhancement film. The way we could tell is if we have a laser, and if you aim it at it on an angle, it'll help redirect. Light's basically going in all directions.
Look at the monitor where like my face is showing up over there. Here, turn it like this.
Because light goes in all directions, essentially. This helps focus most of the light coming from the backlighting unit straight out of the screen, so it enhances brightness. And they've, I believe that's what that is. But an easy way to check is you basically hit it with a laser on off axis and see if the laser then changes angle and comes out straighter out the front of the screen. Something to definitely check out.
More diffusion?
More is good. Oh yeah, you know what? Where are the LEDs at?
Hold on, dude.
They're getting. I think it's another diffuser, maybe,
Looks like it.
or maybe a light
like-
guide. Hard to say.
Diffusing on one side and maybe a light guide on the other.
Oh, here's the prism sheet. Actually, what I was talking about before.
And we should say that's prism, P-R-I-S-M, not
Yes.
prison,
Prism.
as in.
Prism.
So you take a step forward.
Oh, you got it. This feels. You can even feel the texture on this, like it's a. Oh, actually, this is a little bit different. This is. I know what this sheet is, and it's pretty interesting what the function of it is. This next sheet's really interesting in that if it's what I think it is,
It's a giant Fresnel lens, isn't it?
in a sense, but it's also, this is what helps the uniformity of the screen by, as the light comes in from the edges
Whoa.
and hits this sheet.
Okay, we're gonna have to take the plastic one out.
Okay.
This is, the plastic's holding that in. Watch your fingers. Use your fingers. There you go.
Yes, look at that. Look at that big piece of plastic. Okay, now you see the rows of the LEDs along each edge?
Uh-huh.
These
Here,
little,
let me pull this out so they can get a close up.
This is what helps with uniformity. Essentially, it's allowing the light that comes in from the sides to travel rather easily.
Hold that.
Yeah, I've got that. As the light comes in from the edges, what you're trying to do is make the whole thing glow rather uniformly. And in that case, what it's doing is you have little pyramid-style structures within that piece of plastic. That's about, I'd say, almost 2 millimeters thick. And the key there is that the pyramid height within that plastic structure is taller in the center than it would be out on the edges, so that as the light's shining in from the edges, as it starts to travel through the plastic and lose some of its luminance, that way the more reflective center section helps compensate for that. So you have basically more light transmissivity through the edges, but as you get to the center where it's going to lose some of the light and you need to maintain the brightness, it increases the reflectivity of the light basically entering from the side. So
So
in a
take
way,
look at, are those the LEDs all running on the outside of that?
just the left and right edges on this particular TV. Some have it on just one edge.
Oh wow, you can see the little yellow.
The little yellow things, each one of those is an individual white LED.
That's a lot of LEDs, and these can all be dimmed to.
On this particular TV, it has the micro dimming plus technology. So what they can do actually is independently turn these on and off. Oop.
This is our back reflective layer.
And yep. The very end of it, they basically shine onto this, and then as the light bounces on there, it hits that other plate that helps. Ooh,
And then that's the actual.
to the
frame back
metal.
there.
Nice.
Should we take a look at the screen we pulled off really quickly? The giant TFT.
That is, yeah, once you see it raw like this and you realize the screen, the LCD itself, the liquid crystal part with the color filter. And another thing you can notice right away too is that Samsung uses a panel technology that by default it's black.
Right.
The crystals, when they're unjuiced,
Unpowered.
you could say, it returns to a state that becomes opaque rather than other LCDs that can actually,
So are these
in their unpowered
filters
state would be
that are on the
transmissive.
outside of this?
Say what?
This is about, you know what, I'm not going to do this without safety glasses on, and neither are you, so.
I'm wearing safety glasses. Polycarbonate all the way, baby. Now you also probably have a film on the very top surface of this for improving contrast, as well as other picture characteristics. And then you have the LCD panel itself, and then you have the color filter as well.
That's not going to
embedded.
come off without some work. That
Imagine the color filter's on the top, followed by the LCD behind it. But they're pretty well sandwiched together.
Yeah, they're pretty well epoxied together. You
Yeah.
can see a layer of epoxy or whatever the substance is holding these together.
But sweet.
Oh,
Dude,
wait.
I gotta say, that was as sad as it is to see broken technology. It was fun taking this apart.
So hopefully you enjoyed that. Right now, though, it's time to do Blu-ray releases for the week of July 12th, 2011. If you hear a
Hey.
terrible crashing noise, I'll file a certain report that we'll talk
Hey,
about.
first up, it's Brazil. This 1985 cult classic is considered one of director Terry Gilliam's seminal works. It's a black comedy. Brazil centers on Sam Lowry, a daydreaming civil servant, and his hapless fate when he gets caught in the clutches of a fascist government's dysfunctional bureaucracy. This single 50-gigabyte disc features a solid MPEG-4 AVC transfer of the film's original 1.85:1 aspect ratio that offers markedly improved experience over previous DVD releases. The audio gets the 5.1 DTS HD master audio treatment from the original Dolby Stereo track. Sadly, the disc is lacking in notable extras, making it collectors or Criterion collections something to watch out for. Next up, Naked. This 1993 British black comedy stars David Thewles and is directed by Mike Leigh. It's a Criterion release, so it's got an all-new restoration supervised and approved by the director. This release is Region A locked and comes on a single 50-gigabyte disc with an MPEG-4 AVC codec, a 1.85:1 aspect ratio, and a DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 soundtrack. Blu-ray.com gives the video quality 4.5 out of 5, saying there are massive improvements in practically every single area they typically address, and that's in an excellent upgrade that will be a definitive release of Naked for years to come. One last pick this week for the classic film fans is the Buster Keaton Short Film Collection, 1920 to 1923. The set includes 3 discs with a total of 19 short films and an MPEG-4 AVC codec. Also included is a bunch of all-new extras like 19 visual essays, an 8-page booklet, a series of alternate or deleted scenes from 3 of the shorts, and a collection of clips from slapstick films influenced by Keaton's work. Kino Films did an awesome job transferring some of the longer Keaton classics, like The General, to Blu-ray, so we expect the same level of excellence from the collection of shorts. And as always, check out show notes at techzilla.com or hdnation.tv for the rest of this week's Blu-ray releases. Hey, it's time to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace.
Squarespace. We're talking about a fast and easy way to create a high-quality blog, portfolio, any kind of website you need. You got questions, you need help? No worries, because Squarespace provides every member with amazing support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can start your website or blog by choosing from over 60 professionally designed templates. Then you add content from your computer, your iPhone or iPad, and Squarespace's mobile apps. They let you easily add entries and manage comments from anywhere you might be. Many of the internet's highest traffic web pages, they're powered by Squarespace, not to mention many of the personal pages of Revision 3's hosts and personalities. Do yourself a favor, check out squarespace.com to get a 2-week free trial and 10% off when you sign up in July. Just enter in the coupon code TechZilla7. You'll be supporting TechZilla and getting a great deal on an amazing web service, Squarespace.